My apology once again. I did not have on the mic, so it's one of those days when Murphy's Law, when something has to go wrong, it's not the worst possible time. All of the things that I said before, and of course you couldn't hear me, is simply that we are monitoring, of course, the Laventille situation as far as the 2025 election is concerned. And of course, in studio with us downstairs, our let's say empowerment hall or center is of course Ricky Taylor to my immediate right, and then we have of course Deputy Local Leader of Love, Gabriel Dana. We are going to be discussing tonight a number of issues, and of course, and frankly, to have a frank discussion on what the chances are that the Laventille people has finally, of course, taking a position never been seen before, because in my lifetime so far, I've never seen, of course, the people so angry and so committed to do what? To get rid of the PNM. That is my view. Whether that is translated into, of course, votes on the 28th of this month is another story. But of course, without further ado, let me, of course, get the views of Mr. Taylor as to what are the field, what is the ground saying, what is the, does he expect, of course, a groundswell, you know, in elections like these, where people have been settled in terms of their political allegiance, but when that political allegiance is disrupted by, of course, the performance, as we have seen by Rowley and the PNM, and therefore they no longer present an option because there's pain, ache, agony, stress, strain, and of course draconian measures that will make life more difficult and increasingly difficult. And even in an election cycle, like election campaign, they have no solutions. So they have been, of course, been talking more of the same, and one expects, especially when the lives are concerned, that why they tell us, of course, for example, water and sewage, water will not be increased. What they told us, as is the case before, to make us very, very skeptical and very disconcerting, is that, and doubtful, is that is not at this time. What does that mean? It means that they'll be looking at it in the future. Not like Kamala Prasad Bisasa saying, we will not. There's no definite, there's always something as sleazy, a sinister agenda, as we have experienced over the last 10 years with the Rowley and now, of course, a Chinaman Young administration. But that means, as it may, the focus is, of course, the groundswell. How are people looking at the options in this election, and what are the chances of the UNC and the coalition of interests overwhelming, because evil could never prevail over good, and that the PNM we know is absolute and abject evil. That being as it may, let me turn over, of course, to Mr. Taylor, who, of course, will give his views as to what he is seeing on the ground as a businessman and as a community activist as well. Mr. Taylor.
Good night, everybody. Good night to the people out there. It's so nice to be here. It's so nice to be here today to come and speak to you all. You know, we're going through some problems inside the office here, but soon we will fix that.
Yes, he is referring, of course, to the technical difficulties that we are having. Yes, and of course, this is being broadcast. Broadcast is not live, being broadcast, being taped, I should say, for broadcasting. All right, so it will be, you will see it on the internet. We're not giving up, and therefore we have to find a way to get our message out there. Well, I thought I should just explain that.
You know, the forces has come to fight with, and that is one of the forces. They're fighting us for some days now, but we're still going through the way we want to prove to the people of Laventille. Well, to me, the people of Laventille don't get it already. The people of Laventille don't get it already. They don't know they're being misused, abused, and elect. But it's 10 years and even more. Because at the end of the day, it had things was promised to people and promised to do and things in Laventille. Nothing been done. The road, all them sorts of things. It's only when election comes, they come to see the patch. You understand? How much people
Like going to patch it now, like going to do now, yeah.
How much people, cars, poor people, cars getting damaged on the road. A big hole here, big hole there. Hole all 2 feet, or 2 feet, 3 feet down. They try to swing away up from and all that kind of thing. They don't have plenty of things, but I believe my people in Laventille, I believe they're ready for this fight. I believe Miss Kamala have a better chance than ever. I believe this is the end of the PNM in Laventille. All Miss Kamala and she colleagues in Hardulu is paid good interest in what we'll be doing and try to help us to the best as they can and do whatever way we can get us out. Get us out because we as recognized people in Laventille. We know from corner to corner. We know how to deal with the people in there. When I said we had to know that the people on the phone and they see what's going on and they realize, yeah, well, them people don't love us. PNM government do not love us. You know what I love? I'll be really there. Pull in the pocket. Let me be real. Sometimes it's hard to come around to pull in the pocket. They're electing us. They're electing the youth, electing everybody who feel they believe in them. For all these years, people thinking they believe in them. And they believe they just committed nothing. The children again work, you and all again work. You had to go somewhere to fight, to do a kitchen mechanic work, to help out your family and not getting regular work. For all these years, you toiling and you're marching and you're getting on all in the street. PNM until I die. Tell me where you get off for that. What they do for your home, what they do for your area. It have plenty of things you want to say to them people and them out there, but here what now. I believe deep in my heart, I'll be here every night. As long as God spare life, I'll be here every night. You know why I'll be here every night? Because this is something I want to happen in history in Laventille. Laventille break this spell over them. And if I have to be a part of this Love and UNC party to break this spell, I go down 100% and more. Because I started seeing the youths out here getting put aside. It had some kind of way you could get money in the ghetto. I would say ghetto, but to get money in our constituency, to get jobs, regular jobs for people, and so people do not have to look elsewhere to get our money because we country making money. You can't say we country not making money. Entire other countries, I be saying it all the time. They have no kind of resources. They have nothing stating them. They're bringing in money in the country. Everybody in the country living nice. You don't hear no sense of mishap in the country. We is a multiracial country. And everybody's supposed to be loving one another. this war and this criminal elements where the PNM government help build more and more. You understand? It's hard for people to survive. It's very hard because at the end of the day, sometimes to come out your house in your own area, you're frightened. I used to live so virtuous. Before I end up business in Prince Street, where I reside right now, between Prince and Georgie doing my business. I had to guard my business because I done go through some problem in business. I had to make sure I ain't get breaking and nobody loot my business. So I had to be there day and night to survive. You understand? But when I was living in Soviet Trace, to come out the road was it? To come out the road, gunshots.
I know so Trace, just over the road, when you come out of the southern side is where Desperados are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Supposed to be, but they too have to run from the very thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And now, of course, reside not too far from us here on Georgia people. And I just want to make sure that you understand the tragic circumstance that is happening in Laventille, and this part of Laventille is on the hill where Despers is from, but can't go back up. I'll have to, of course, reside in Forestry. That's a different story, but we want to put it in perspective because the people must, at some time, recognize that this is an untenable situation. It cannot be, of course, be maintained. It cannot be sustained, and therefore transformation and change must be. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah. Children to go to school, come out, gunshots. Nobody getting home. Nobody taking police come. That's it. You know what it is? Right? They can't make a case. Cameras. We have cameras in by the lamppost, Plymouth. The car get charged because they just can't get charged. So every time children imagine these parents struggling to mind the family, they had to hire cars to make a lap to go down Gonzales to Chocolate Alley to drop the children to school and try to hire cars to bring back the children home.
Things that would be normally in walking distance.
Yeah, I just jump on car.
Good. But now we get a car, for protection.
Even you and all, for you to go to get a hustle, you had to hire a car because area code. Area code. Where's area code coming from? Brothers and sisters, I'm telling you all, this regime is driving me to kill one another. It's driving me to kill her. We had smelly roses. And I want from Miss Kamala and she colleagues, and then when she gets in power, people first. Security. People first, study people. Everybody, Miss Kamala, I know Miss Kamala well up, she colleagues and them well up. Let's study the people, the better the country. I always say country first. We have all kind of things that's happening in Trinidad and Tobago. We have Carnival, we have Easter, plenty tourists who want to come in Trinidad and Tobago. Let me get a stay, don't come to Trinidad because if you come to Trinidad you'll be mugged and all
killed.
And killed.
And maimed and
you understand? Yes, yeah. Sometimes I always say that when I import a spring here, they serious thing I'm telling you, I import a spring here. And tourists be coming down. And I used to tell them, hey, or look go back to. You know why I'm telling them that? Because where police supposed to be, they're not this. They're just driving up and down. They're just driving up and down. If a crime happens, if between 50, between 100, from 1 to 100, the holding, the crime people, to them not holding them, is 95.
Only 5.
So it's only 5 they
who might get hold.
Yeah, might get hold.
Yes.
And they get away. So at the end of the day, you know, the people's life is not safe in the city. You have cameras, and cameras not solving nothing. They spend so much millions of dollars in the city to guard the city. No problem is supposed to be going on bad in nobody's city. Your city is supposed to be safe zone. No problem supposed to be, you know, no crime supposed to happen in the city. The city is supposed to be locked. Like a key, like a lock, and you have to get a key to open it. No kind of problem supposed to happen in most city. Any majority, plenty country ago, you have to follow rules and regulations in the city to survive. Because why Trinidad, a small place like Trinidad, you have so much security cameras, you have so much police, and nothing going on. You know what I say? We don't have enough manpower. We don't have enough vehicles. It's hard for me to stay one place. It's hard for me to stay one place to monitor the people and the businesses in Port of Spain. You know what we have to do? You know what we have to do? As businessmen, we had to hire police. We had to hire police to save me and my family and them. You must. When the government and national security ministers and everybody supposed to be involved in saving the city, they're killing Port of Spain, they're mashing up Port of Spain. They're killing the business out of Port of Spain.
It's not on tonight.
You know,
so what we do is
they're mashing up the whole of Port of Spain. You other people that go shop on us and shop. Go San Fernando and shop. Business,
right, so
people selling out their business in Port of Spain.
Let me just pause, let me just make an interjection here because I want to tell the audience that will be viewing this that this was pre-recorded. We were getting some technical difficulty as you've seen on the screen, and we believe strongly in what we are doing, and as a consequence of that we decided to pre-record and then upload it. That's why you will be seeing it at this point in time. So again, no telephone, we cannot accept any calls because it was pre-recorded, and that is what you are engaging or seeing now. Right? So continue, of course.
Yeah, so
community.
My point right now.
And businessman.
My point right now. The city is supposed to be a safe zone, Ms. Kamala. We're going to put you in power. And I know you're going to be in power. The areas who are voting for you, you have to secure people's life. Whoever you put in to control national security and commissioner, hope you put in somebody who have good heart and good mind to do this job. But this is one of the main problems we as poor people have within our area. Sports don't happen no more. There's one set of court, hard court and all them kind of things. Basketball court, football field, and nothing happened. I was involved in Mercedes United in Cedrics in Soviet Church. I was one of the coach, used to do physical and everything. And when we go out and play a game, I used to be frightened for our players. Frightened, but God so good. We go there and we prove ourselves as youth to show them the talents we have in Laventille. We prove ourselves. Right now we up there with the big boys. We are there and we still have to go further because it have talents.
I remember when was that big $1 million prize basketball tournament was engaged by, of course, the Kamala Prasad Society between 2010 and 2015. It was, I think, it was Laventille that won the first and the second as well. Laventille on the hill and Laventille below. Yeah, that $1 million. But go ahead, I just want to emphasize that. Bring back
where my colleague here speaking about, it's true, real talent we have. Children want to bring talent out. Children want to take part in things, but parents afraid to send the children out. People are afraid to send the children out. When Hearts and Mind was in Mr. Sobero was involved in community work, they used to put an input in Laventille.
Hearts and Mind people as a police initiative that was organized by a certain section of the police service to treat, of course, with these communities and to protect the children, particularly taking them in and out of the community under, of course, the police protection. Outside of that, the borderline issue is real. For you, it may be a phenomenon. To you, it may be a mystery. To you, it may be enigmatic. But the reality is that every single child in Laventille knows that he cannot go a certain part of Laventille, otherwise he may well not return. And return here, it doesn't mean that he's kidnapped. He or she may well die as a consequence. That is how bad it is. But go ahead.
Yeah.
But I thought I should just make these.
No, that is a serious point where my colleague just said, because this is why coming up to my Hearts and Mind have to come to cry youth all about to take part in sports, to have a fun day. It wasn't for Hearts and Mind. Things are happening.
But where is that today? Is it as active as it was?
To be truthful, they make a police youth club.
Okay.
You know, and police youth club, plenty youths get involved, and still is a pressure.
Right.
You understand, to come out to take part
in activities, especially if you're not under the protection of that group.
Are we going back home? Are we going back home?
Group protection is important. That's what I tell you for carnival. Go out in group. Well, it's the same thing here in Laventillians.
In the police youth club in Beacham, you want to take part, you live in John. You're interested, you are talent, you're educated. How are we going across there to take part?
Borderline issue, we'll explain that in subsequent programs.
So Hearts and Mind is, what I'm trying to say, Hearts and Mind was a good organization and helped out plenty of people in our day. I don't want to talk too much because I have so much things to say.
We have
plenty more programs. I'll give somebody else a chance.
Yes. The deputy political leader of LOV, of course, Mr. Gabriel Dada, he's here with us as well. And we want to get his view as to how the people feel. What is your view of how they're feeling as far as you run up to this election, come closer and closer to the 20th, and people have to make a decision in the context, of course, of Laventille and the environment, which includes, of course, East Forest Spain, where you are specifically from. Yeah.
President, I always reach out in mass and respect to my political leader, Mr. Lennox Smith, to the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Abisad Besessa, to the wider nation, to the coalition of interest, Pleasant Night, to my people of Port Smith South, that my backbone is Laventille West, Laventille East, that our coal is generated. The people is coming up on the bus route saying numbers. It's numbers is coming. And this will be counted on the 28th. On the 28th of April, when we go to the polls, my people, there's one choice, one vote. To the coalition of interest and the UNC will be victorious. I'm taking up a little speech to my colleague, Mr. Ricky Taylor. His heart is so wide and broad about the people of Laventille West, Laventille East and Port of Spain because he's run a business in Port of Spain South. He tried to touch on every aspect, but I know his heart is right. Mr. Ricky, we feel the pain. We feel the distress. We feel everything you have. But my leader in the UNC, Mr. Kamala Bisad Bissessar, and his colleagues, my leaders in EP and their colleagues, and with Rosie and their colleagues, and the coalition of interest with utterly love. But your heart is love, Mr. Ricky. We hear your pain.
I mean, the elephant in the atmosphere, the question that is to be answered and that maybe people may be avoiding, and let's face it, a decade ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, the question of UNC and Kamala Prasad Bissessar would not have been regularly mentioned or indeed considered to be, of course, a viable entity or entities for consideration of the electorate to vote for the UNC or Kamala Prasad Bissessar. What over the last 10 years, 11 years has changed people's mind? Because everywhere you go, you are hearing this Kamala Prasad Bissessar, the UNC. What has happened? Is it that the UNC did something? Is it that the PNM did something? Is it that the people have come to the realization? Because we have seen it in Tobago. Tobago, after 21 years, have of course rejected the PNM, and they tried, of course, the Calcutta strategy that got them into government handsomely some time ago, and they were totally rejected. They locked their seat. Is that infection has reached Trinidad, and more particularly Laventille, having regarded to Laventille's consistent support for the UN, for the PNM?
I believe it reached in Trinidad.
All right.
That's why you see now I speaking direct, because I want to think about, people Laventille going back over there. I believe people that Trinidad backing over there. So that's why I reaching out to the people and them who going to be in charge, maybe for the next 5 years, 10 years. I reaching out early to tell them, because I don't see what's going to happen in this country. And it's like Tobago fed up, Trinidad fed up. Tobago see it before me. Tobago showed me how we must go. You understand? So, I believe this is the time. And Laventille people has been told. And everybody, a man jumping in a man car the other day to come down the road. And you can't have 3 people in it. And the man come inside it with a PNM jersey. The driver say, hey, you can't come in my car.
Wow.
That's how deep it going.
That's
you
right.
can't come in my car. You have a PNM jersey. I don't want you in my car. The passengers and them bowling, yeah. Is that when you come in the man car? Do you know where it's going? So I show you how deep it going. I used to be on the ground and I used to be in town and I hear what's going on. So I tell Miss Kamala, I'm telling you, things going to happen for you. Don't elect me in Laventille. You want to make over the constitution, make it over. Whatever you're doing to get our country right, do the right thing. That's all we asking for. And see if we can get people in better jobs, create jobs. Let's create jobs. Because at the end of the day, we fighting for you. We're going to show you now we have happened now. We will elect Pandey, we will elect you for all these years. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So, I telling you now, Give me the tools to work.
And we will deliver.
And we will deliver.
Yes, indeed. Jala, could you just, give your own views as to the history, the chronology, the anecdote that has led to, of course, a frenzy for the UNC and an acceptance when, of course, at one time they were persona non grata, meaning that you can even mention that you might get a head bust. Now today, I mean, it is embraced like if, of course, it's like walking. It is secondary to nature in Laventille. I mean, I'm sure that you have some views on that matter.
My political leader, Mr. Leonard Smith, I have plenty things to say about what you know said, Mr. Lennox. Mr. Lennox, if you walk from Soviet Trace, you walk from Snake Valley, you walk from Redding, you walk from St. Barnes, as my colleague said, you walk from Mova, as we said, you can really see a sense of delay. So, if them think that not break a natural easy here, PNM hold on to Laventille East, West, and Portersville South for so long that they say, and we will vote PNM. But this time, the rising sun will set in the east. And we'll go to where? My leader said, to the west. So, what I'm saying with love, and I'm saying, well, it's love. What I say here is true, and I feel it in my backbone. When the sun set at 6 o'clock, I mean going 6 o'clock set, from 5:45 a.m., we will be by the gates with one mission, with one focus, is to make the sun rise from the east. And our fingers will stay with UNC, PEP, Coalition of Interest, Love. And when it done, go down to the west, we'll be victorious. We'll be victorious in Laventille West, Laventille East, Port of Spain. Lennox, they talk about crime. They talk about many things. Food, property tax. But Laventille is so much of riches. It's over millions of dollars. It has come off of Laventille every single living day. I'm a businessman. I'm a broad businessman from Port of Spain South. I own 3 businesses. Not because I'm politically, because I'm a hard sweat. And thanks to my leader, he made me rise to who I am. He teach me my ins and outs. Mr. Lennox Smith, I'm telling him thanks live. I'm letting you know, come April the 28th, I know much to say. All I want to say is, our manifesto from next week, Monday, we will read it out. We have a 1,000-page manifesto. And every single day, we will talk about crime, we will talk about entrepreneurs, we will talk about agriculture, hydroponics, we will talk about every single living thing when we start to read out our manifesto. And that manifesto will be related to Laventille East, Laventille West, and Port of Spain South. So my good friend, Mr. Ricky Taylor, talk about employment, talk about jobs. We don't talk about URP, we don't talk about CETA. We talk about life sustainabilities in the next 30 years to come. So thank you, everybody. I will pass it back on to my leader.
Yes,
Thank you, talk only.
A very stirring and, of course, emotional and emotive, of course, presentation. You said you had something to say, Mr. Taylor? Go ahead.
Yeah, in Laventille, people hardly survive in the spirit. But I'm bringing this straight to the board, because this is one thing Rowley, You struggle for all these years to mind 3-4 children in your house. You build a house. At one point you build a house. You struggle to build it. You borrow money from the bank. You buy a house. You buy this spot, you buy a house. You buy all the money you have going into that house. And maintaining your family. You reach down to resigning age, to resign. You get a little small money in your pocket. You get that money to see if you can survive until you reach about 65 or something like that. You still have to pay phone bill, light bill, water rate.
Take care of grandchildren.
To take care of grandchildren, because sometimes your grandchildren and them, you have to take care of grandchildren.
That's really
Because of the crime thing, you have to try to take care of grandchildren because some of them can't go out because of the crime thing. Now, how Rowley can tell you now, when you had to pay land, property tax, you had to pay property tax. You, if you reach a certain age, because they say the win, they're bringing back that thing. It's only going, but
it has already been implemented,
yeah,
and it is being executed.
Yeah.
In fact, they boasted that they made 19 million in the first collection, and they looking at, of course, making it easy for you by bringing an online payment system and all of that. So it is in effect, but dangerous, and of course, a very, what I consider to be painful for the ordinary person to add that to increase water rate, electricity rate, and of course transportation, food, etc. As they remove, of course, the subsidies and cause the gas prices to rise, and therefore everything else and therefore the cost of living to increase exponentially. But go ahead and just so that you make that intervention.
Great points, because is that why we come straight to the point.
Yes.
Right? So if this government fighting the old people to survive, we should put them back in power. Come on now, man. Your old people are fighting to survive. We can say make ends meet.
They create the conditions, that's all.
Yeah.
They create the conditions.
Yeah.
To make them poor, to make them experience pain.
That's what we say. The rich will stay rich. We as the poor people had to make the rich people rich, and we had to stay poor for the rest of our life. And the rich had to stay rich for the rest of their life. So I, as a businessman who looking to mind my family, I can't see if I can excel. I tell you right now, the bank gave me problem. If I take a loan, I get to buy a property, I can sell. They tell me I have to come with all kind of caterpillar and all kind of this and that and that. As a black man who trying to survive. They told me down so much time. I trying to excel. All how. I can't talk to no minister. I can't talk to nobody. Because here I am now. I had to stay down under the food line.
Yeah.
I had to stay under the food line as a black man and my children and them. So I mustn't excel. I'm not being racial. This is a fact. Other people coming in my country and excelling faster than me. Because at the end of the day, the banks and giving them people them loan. You understand me? Giving them people them loan, and I can say get loan to buy a building. Why I want to see if I can be something for my children. I can say get a loan to stock up my business. Because nobody helping no black boy or no black girl. You know because
when you're from where?
Laventille.
Yes.
Because I'm from Laventille. All they treated me like if I
or outcast.
Outcast. I'm nothing.
Yeah.
Sam, I've been dressing up to my best and going to have meeting and just getting disappointment. Nobody helping me out. I can't go to Miss Kamala and say Miss Kamala help me out because the song I give up. I can't go to Mr. Lennox Smith and my leader, I help me out. It's problems. Nobody helping this one. Now here I am now. I, as a man on the ground, I want to show people we can make it too. We can make it too. From the beginning, at Trinidad, is we poor people used to control the East-West corridor. We people used to run the East-West corridor. It's just men, breakdown. We like between certain things. They capture we. You know what? Now we look at the crime, and now all they want to give you a chance. All they bring crime. All they bring all kind of things. They can't say get US. Now they're saying they get US. They can't say do this. They're saying that. They only keep it with them. Keep it with them. Hold it with them. We can't say get US to go away for we business. And now all they want to put back them people in power. Miss Kamala and the colleagues and all them. We the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we put in all in power, all the work for the people. Work for the people. Don't study the party and them who look at the see if they can climb back. As long as you work for the people stay with you. If you work for the people, you end up like PNM. I've been really good. You end up like PNM. Now, I cannot roar with my speech, you know, because here what happened now. I rather come straight to the point because, as I tell you, give me the tools. My leader here, give me the tools, and we will work. If we ain't give me the tools, we have 26 days. 26 days. My leader here, Mr. Lennox Smith, no, as an activist in the party, I have no big thing. I try to see about my business and see about Miss Kamala and the business too. You must? I need help. I need help. You must? So I cry out, I let you know, put things in place, deal with Mr. Lennox Smith. And if anybody feel they can help me out, I'm willing. And my arms open. Well said,
my friend. I think the few minutes that we have is winding up now because, of course, it's minutes to 10 in this session. Don't forget, of course, it's a pre-recorded session, and of course will be uploaded to YouTube and, of course, Facebook and maybe some other platforms, including some of the more popular Instagram, etc. But the fact of the matter is that I want you to take away from this exercise that the people of Laventille and environs, Eastport of Spain, Beetham, Sealat, have awoken and that they are conscious and they realize that they have been taken for a ride by the PNM for a very long time, as did Tobago. Tobago had it for 21 years and decided to reject them. The same thing is happening in the context of Trinidad and, of course, the East-West corridor, but more specifically Laventille. Laventille. Very, very, very significant. The people have awakened and they are conscious. It means, therefore, that the only way for the PNM is to be relegated to the dustbin of political history. That is where it's going to go. And they could jump high, they could jump low. They can, of course, pretend that this is not happening, and they have their internecent or their implosion that are taking place, and it, of course, it will explode in the very public domain, in the public space, by the 28th or after the 28th, when they would have seen that all of the 39 seats in Trinidad would have gone to the UNC under the coalition of interest. Let us not waste time. So therefore, I am very pleased. And tomorrow night, of course, we will have another discussion. If we cannot do it live, we will have a discussion and upload it as we have done here. Once again, this is not live. It is, of course, a recording, a pre-recording that we are determined because, as it is said, that the mother of invention is when, of course, there is a necessity, and there's a necessity to get rid of the PNM. There's a necessity for us to vent, and therefore we have been able to find the technology, whether we are having internet experience difficulty, or we can, of course, record what we want to say and upload it thereafter. That is exactly what we will do. So expect more of this, and where we can, of course, have live from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, certainly we will engage. But if we cannot, from this day forward, we will be recording, we'll have a healthy discussion, we'll have eventually our audience that will, of course, we'll have a camera looking at the audience and, of course, have them participate. So this will be extremely interactive, leading up, of course, to the 28th of this month, because we want to make certain that every single electorate go out there. The PNM must realize that this thing is too big for them to thief. The election will be too big for them to thief. That's right. Because we have seen that happen in 2015, we have seen it happen in 2020, and we are not going to allow it in 2025. Yes, indeed. Gentlemen, any brief or quick closing remarks before we bring this session to a close?
Well, all I can say, Mr. Mala, I love you and everybody, and all your team who out there who working on you, and I tell you personally, I need help, and all I can tell you, I will come with you. Just give me the tools. That's all I gotta say.
And my comrade said, whatever problem we face in the last 10 years is because of Keith Rowley and we done this small pen name is?
Small pen.
Small pen.
The Chinese man.
The Chinese man. So I'm closing with this. This one note I want to say is, once we win, everybody wins.
Yes, man.
This is not a go sign, and I'm giving you an account. Rolling my account, rolling my account, rolling my account, rolling my account. Hey! Rowley mother walking hard, hear the sun and rain. If you see the poor man, she does tell it down. But the hard work she do, you need everything for she son. All the pipers Stephen and doing what they want. Forcing Rowley mother to take an account. All the people on the tree, all the bygone and the body, the plantain, the cucumber, the pumpkin, the sapoka, even all the okra and turn every month. Rowley mother, Rowley mother, Rowley mother.
Yes, as we said, we have come to the end of the night, not live broadcast, pre-recording broadcast, and of course this will be the first. And whether we have internet or not, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, you know,
Rowley mother, Rowley she,
will not get the participate.
what you ready to
record it, even because we will have access to the internet before.
He was very small.
What we